Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune Snow, and today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary, and today we're talking about SHAILE, Dean of Radiance. So as you can see, SHAILE is actually a bird from the plane of Archaeos. SHAILE is a dean at the Silver Quill College of Strixhaven. SHAILE is always a very optimistic owl. She has a dramatic speaking voice who often speaks of quotes from famous texts. It is said that her references literally make people glow. SHAILE believes in the better world and in the people in it, and tries to teach her students on how to make it better. SHAILE and Ambrosia often argue about how to run the Silver Quill's curriculum, but they usually find a balance between all their ideas to teach their students, and that's actually all the information we have at this time. So as you've seen throughout this video, she's represented in this one and only card, SHAILE, Dean of Radiance, the legendary creature, bird, cleric, flying, vigilance. And in tablet it says, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that entered the battlefield under control this turn, which is a very good card if you are doing anything with kind of multiplication of creatures, so like elves, warriors, or whatever. This is the card you want in your deck. So SHAILE is actually depicted in one card, Defender of the Campus, and it says, professors scrambled to push the mages hunters back, leaving the heart of Strixhaven undefeated. And just look at that picture. You can see in the very foreground, and it's really cool. So SHAILE is actually only quoted in one card. It's Sign in the Blood. This card, it says, it always my brightest students who make the worst decisions. SHAILE, Silver Queen Dean. So that's all the information we have on her, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So there's more on my channel if you'd like to watch some more, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune Snow, and today we're reviewing Let's Talk Legendary. And today we're going to be talking about the good old Svella, the Ice Shaper, who is a troll. So as mentioned, you can tell that Svella is a troll from the picture, who is from Nultfold on the plane of Kaldheim. She is, in the name as you say, an Ice Shaper and a troll warrior. She is different from most trolls, as most are not particularly smart. Svella, though, has magical ability and has a great love of art. Because she is different from most trolls, she has become an outcast and now roams Nultfold, creating art out of ice. One such thing she created was a replica of the standing stones of KARO GLADE. They are also imbued with magic. One day she hopes to meet someone with a love of art as she does. And that is actually all the information we have at the moment. So Svella is actually represented in one card, which you've seen throughout the whole video. So for one color, a mountain and a forest, you can bring it in for that 2/4. For 3 colors, it says create a color snow artifact tone. Name Ice Man with it, add 1 mana. And then you can have look at the top 4 cards of your library, may cast that spell among them without paying its mana cost, put the rest in the library for 6 colors and 2. It's pretty expensive, but that's all we have. So I hope you guys enjoy the video and have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune Stone. We're doing Let's Talk Legendary. Today we'll be talking about Civilian of the Sea and Sky. So Civilian is actually a merfolk god on the plane of Dalmanera. She is actually the patron to the merfolk from the Empire of Voldalia. One of the rules of the Civilians is that no mortal can go near the divine. It is said that Civilian has not communicated with her father since she formed the merfolk. Her words are actually recorded in ancient writings, which are the focus of the followers. The symbol of the winged moon is actually the symbol of the Civilian. When the mist moon is in its full phase, which is actually roughly around 28 days, the followers need to spend the night in contemplation. There is actually a society known as the Society of the Conch, which actually go around the world trying to figure out and understand how a Civilian interacts with other cultures. And this is currently all the information we have at the time. So Civilian of the Sea and Sky is represented in one card, which this one is from Modern Horizons 2. It's a legendary creature, merfolk god obviously. Has indestructible as you control at least 2 other merfolk. Whenever she attacks, draw a card. Other merfolk you control have ward 1. So that's really cool for 1 colorless and 2 islands. For a 3/4, so for 3/4, that's basically you pay. That's just in itself is really cool. So she's actually associated with 2 cards. This one from Being Fallen Empires, and it's about the priest. It says target creature may not be the target of spells or abilities until the turn, uses only during your upkeep. But it says early Valdalians worship Civilian, goddess of the pearl moon. Later she became more abstract figure. And the other card she's actually just simply associated with, which is Fallen Empires as well, is its temple, the picture, and has no any other things about it. It just says sacrifice it, add 2 blue mana to your mana pool, or tap it to add 1 blue. That is it. And last but not least, she is referred to in the High Tide card from Fallen Empires as well. And it says, "May Sylvian and her tides favor you." And that's supposed to be a picture that represents her. And if you like this video, there's more on this channel. I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow, and today we'll be doing Let's Talk Legendary. And today we're going to be talking about TABORAX. So TABORAX is actually a demon from the plane of Zendikar. In a time when the ELDRAZI came to Zendikar and left, many people thought their gods had ignored them. So the ELDRAZI are the ancient race that have no physical form, that travel between planes to consume the mana and life forms on each plane. But as a result of the people losing faith in of their gods, people actually started to turn to demons. And this is when TABORAX had gathered the most followers, and his followers felt that he could protect them from the ELDRAZI. TABORAX once in a while shares his power to his most trusted, but of course he wants more in return as he would give. And that's actually all the information we have on him at the time. So TABORAX Hope's Demise is actually the only card that he's represented in. It's a legendary creature, demon cleric for obvious reasons, has flying and says has lifelink as long as you have 5 or more +1 plus counter on it. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put a +1 counter on it. If that creature was a cleric, you may draw a card. If you do, lose 1 life. It's a 2/2. So you can really use this card for decking ability for sure. So TABORAX is actually associated with one card, is Demon's Disciple from the Zendikar series. It says, the saying goes, TABORAX's cultists are the latest in a long line history of beings who have desired to see Zendikar torn to pieces. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's more on my channel, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow, and today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary, and today we'll be talking about TORALF, the God of Fury. So TORALF, as you know, is the God of Fury from the plane Kaldheim. He loves to go on Sega-worthy adventures and rather spend his time seeking for such things. He has the power of thunder, which can cause him much damage to enemies. TORALF is known to do the impossible, such feats as putting his mark on the Chasm Beast, who lives in the deepest trench on Karfell. He even made realms collide with the swinging of his hammer Tyrite. Like most of the Skadi, he'd rather be left alone and be in the wild. TORALF is the oldest son of Cosma and Alron. Alron thinks TORALF, who can call the power of the storm, could do such much more instead of performing such great feats. Because of this attitude from Alron, it creates kind of a rift between him and his son. As they argue and continue to grow further and further apart, it is the kind of creating a division in the family, and that is actually all the information we have on TORALF at the moment. So as you've seen throughout the whole video, he's actually represented in one card, as you can see, for 2 colors and 2 mountain, 5/4 trample. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, it deals damage equal to that excess to a target other than that permanent. Really cool card if you say so for myself. So let's get on to the associated card. So he's actually associated with the one card only, and it's his hammer for 1 colors, and the mountain where you flip that card for the god card. It says equipped creature has 1 colorless mountain, tap unattached the hammer, it deals 3 damage to any target. Return it to its owner's hand. Equipped creature is +3/0 as long as it's a legendary. So it can be very annoying with that +3/0 every turn if you want to return it. So the first card he's depicted in is Shackles of Treachery, and it says, in that instant, TORALF felt only the power of the storm and the need to destroy. Because the realms colliding, again with the storyline. And the last card he's depicted or referred to in is the TOSKI Firewalker, and it says, TORALF blessed me with fire. I am worthy of Starnheim. And that is all the cards that are associated with him, and that's the story. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow, and today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary. So today we're going to be talking about TOSKI, the bearer of secrets. So TOSKI is a little squirrel born in Cosmos from the plane of Kaldheim. TOSKI is also a messenger of the gods. TOSKI tends to be a little rascal squirrel who serves Esika, who is the god of the world tree. Since TOSKI, as I just said, is a little squirrel, he is able to carry messages throughout all the 10 realms with incredible speeds. Because of that speed and small size, he can observe events without being noticed, and then later lets Esika knows what happened. Since TOSKI does not actually speak, TOSKI and Esika have some kind of telepathy that's going on. because of this telepathy, actually, if you look at the name, he actually is able to keep the secret. So he's the bearer of secrets. And that is all the information we have on TOSKI at the moment. So TOSKI is only represented in one card. As you've seen throughout the video, TOSKI is the bearer of secrets for 3 colors and a forest. The spell can't be countered and it's indestructible. So that alone is pretty cool for this 1/1. And attacks each turn if able. Well, because it's indestructible, what does it matter? But whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this card is very powerful, very underplayed, I think, in the Magic world. It should be used more often when playing with green. And you can make a really cool squirrel deck with that. So this TOSKI is actually depicted in one card. And that one card is In Search for Greatness. And you can see in the bottom left of that picture, there's good old TOSKI. Looks like he's trying to communicate with the other cosmos monster around the world tree, but we don't know. So that's really cool. So if you like this video, there's more on the channel, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow, and today we'll be doing Let's Talk Legendary, and today we'll be doing TOURACH. So TOURACH is a human from a place known as Sarpedia, who is from the realm of Dominaria. TOURACH was the creator of the Order of the Ebon Hand, which is of course located in Sarpedia. This order worshipped the Ebon Praetor instead of the Hand of Justice, which was actually most popular and worshipped at the time. TOURACH started to create a new capital and named it Oktepkeep. This is where many necromancers were trained, often worked great magics. Sometimes human sacrifices was needed for those, and sometimes the necromancer's own limb as well were needed for these. TOURACH created such great hymns that it could only cause such things as insanity when hearing them. When TOURACH had passed, some people were actually afraid of his return, such as the followers of Leithbur. It is said that TOURACH has incarnated into several people, one such person as the King Priest of Vitro. So with that being said, that is all the information we have on TOURACH right now, and he's only represented in one this card only, this legendary creature, which is a human creature, which is TOURACH the Dread Cantor. So for 2 mana, basically put it in. Whenever an opponent discards a card, put a +1/+1 counter on TOURACH Dread Counter. When it enters the battle, if it was kicked, target opponent discards 2 cards. For this 2 for a 2/1. I love this card. I've been waiting for this kind of card to come out since I saw Hymn to TORACH from Fallen Empires. This card is just beautiful, and that's what I've been waiting for. So TORACH is actually associated with several cards. The first one I'm showing is Hymn to TORACH, and in fact that is my favorite card in the entire Magic world. I love that. Target player discards 2 cards at random from the hand. It only costs 2 mana, and the saying goes, the priests plead for young anguish and pray for your despair. Love this card, 100%. Just let's move on. So the next card that TORACH is associated with is TORACH's Canonical, and it costs 3 colors and a swamp. It says target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a card from it. That player discards that card, then discards a card at random for 4 mana. Then it says the same hymns TORACH sang to praise the Ebon Praetor would later be adapted to glorify TORACH himself. And there's the picture, really cool with the human sacrifice. It really fits well with that theme. Next card that he's associated with is TORACH's Chant. It says during your upkeep, pay 1 swamp or bury it. Whenever a player puts a forest into play, TORACH's Chant deals 3 damage to him or her, unless that player puts a -1/-1 counter on target creature you controls. Card's not really good, but again, TORACH is associated with this card. Next card is TORACH's Gate for 1 colors and 2 swamp from Fallen Empires. Can be only played on target land you control, sacrifice and put 3 time counters on TORACH's Gate. During your upkeep, remove a time counter from TORACH's Gate. If there are no time counters on TORACH's Gate, bury. 0 tap land. It enchants all attacking creatures to get +2/-1 until end of turn. Not a really good card, but again, TORACH's Gate, again with the storyline and with the blood flowing river. Now we're getting into cards that he's quoted or referred to in. As you can see in Basil Thrall from Fallen Empires, it says to create the first Thralls, I only introduced alchematic elements to the Order's necromancy. TORACH's principles remained unchanged. So the next card he's associated with is Feral Zealot. Again, the saying is really kind of interesting because there's a story behind it. It says Feral and his followers became a formidable band of vigilantes battling the Icatins and the followers of TORACH. And the next card is Haunting Hymn. It says the hymn melody has persisted since TORACH's time. but the words change to invoke the phobias of each listener. Because remember, in the storyline, it said that when he did these special chants, people would go insane. So again, this card is tied into that. Next card he's associated with is actually this card from Modern Horizons. So TORACH has actually been associated in the Magic world throughout the entire Magic world. Cards popping up all the time, which is very fascinating. But it says, no tongue to chant, yet the forsaken hymn still emanates from its body. The Headless Spectre. Again, that saying is actually associated with TORACH. And the next card is Order of Leitber, because, they had this huge battle. So, trained to battle the followers of TORACH, the Order of Leitber was not as successful in the later conflicts with Orcish and Goblin Raiders. Sarpedian Empires Volume 1. And the last and final card that he's associated with is Order of the Even Hand, which he created. It says, dedicated to the principles of TORACH, members of the Order of the Even Hand demonstrated their devotion with grisly rituals. And that is all the information we have on TORACH. I think TORACH is the most fascinating card in the entire Magic world. I love the cards that he's associated with throughout time and how they keep bringing him back, as you know, in the Modern Horizons too. He's a cool guy, cool cards. I love it. I love the cards, everything. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're reviewing Valki, God of Lies. As you can tell by the name, Valki is actually the god of deceit and lies and is often referred to as the Trickster. He also goes by Prince of Mischief or Ruse Forger. As you can imagine, he likes to cause trouble and mischief all around the realms. Once in a while, Valki does something good, but people generally don't believe him because he's always being very deceitful. Valki is often referred to be TORALF's brother, but then that would make him Alrund's son. With Valki being so deceitful all the time, he would actually deceive TORALF to transport the Hall of Gods to Itzfell from the realm of the gods. At the beginning, his pranks were harmless, but then over time they started to become destructive. The other gods were actually unsure what to do with him, who was actually Tybalt, the Planeswalker, hence all the destructiveness. The real Valki was imprisoned on Karfel, who was in magical chains. Not only that, he was on Karfel, but King Narfi's dungeon. Tybalt took the form of Valki to learn more about the World Tree. He even tried to convince Eskia to do this, but she wanted nothing to do with him. So he decided he would attempt to find ways on his own and appeared when he wanted something. And that is actually all the information we have on Valki at the moment. So Valki is actually in a few cards, and as you've seen throughout the video, he's represented in this one card, Valki, God of Lies, for 1 colorless in a swamp, and is played right now in the current standard. When Valki enters the battlefield, for each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature card they reveal this way until he leaves the battlefield. So it's a 2/1, so it's a really cool discard card. So he's actually associated in 1 card, Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter, for 5 colors and a swamp and a mountain for that 5. I don't think that's just way too expensive for this legendary Planeswalker. But Tybalt, when he enters the battlefield, you get the emblem. You may cast cards, exile with Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color of those spells. And then you have the exile the top card of each library, exile artifact creature, and exile all cards. Add 3 red mana. So that's really cool if you get there, but it's just not at that point. So as you can see, he's depicted in the Trickster's God's Heist. He tells the whole story, but the sword, the tree, and the fighting. Anyways, really cool. And the last card he's associated with is Ice Bind Pillar, and that goes with the storyline, as you can see with the picture. And it says, "Oh Valki, I'm disappointing you. How could the God of Lies be so gullible, Tybalt?" So if you like this video, there's more on the channel, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.